Today, on Curious Minds, we're going to answer a curious question. Why is a boat captain called a skipper? Have you ever been on a boat and heard someone say, "Ask the skipper," or "the skipper is in charge"? But wait a second. Why a skipper? Why not a boat boss, or a sea leader, or captainy captain? Today on Curious Minds, we're going to answer a curious question. Why is a boat captain called a skipper? And along the way, we're going to explore some fun, weird, and surprising facts about boats, sailing, and the people who travel the seas. So grab your imaginary life jacket and let's set sail. The word skipper is very old. It comes from a Dutch word, skipper. Hundreds of years ago, the Dutch were some of the best sailors in the world. They built strong ships and sailed across the ocean to trade goods. A skipper was a person in charge of the ship, the one who decided where to go, when to sail, and how to keep everyone safe. Over time, the word skipper slowly changed into skipper in English. So when you hear the skipper, you're hearing a word that has been used on boats for hundreds of years. Pretty cool, right? But wait, what does a skipper actually do? A skipper isn't just someone who steers the boat. A skipper decides when it's safe to sail, reads the weather and the waves, makes sure the boat doesn't hit rocks or other ships, takes responsibility for everyone on board. In the old days, if something went wrong at sea, the skipper had to solve the problem, sometimes with no help at all. That's why being a skipper was one of the most trusted jobs in history. Did you know the first boats were tree trunks? Long before engines and sails, the very first boats were logs. Peop People thousands of years ago hollowed out tree trunks to make canoes. No motors, no maps, no GPS, just wood, water, and courage. If you fell in, you swam. These early sailors were incredibly brave and probably very wet. Sailors used stars as maps. Before compasses and phones, sailors navigated using the stars. They learned where the sun rises and sets, how the moon changes, which stars stay in the same place. The North Star, for example, helped sailors know which way was north. So, when a skipper looked up in the sky, they weren't stargazing, they were reading a map. Fun fact, boats have names for luck. Sailors believe that naming a boat brings good luck. That's why boats have names like Sea Breeze, Adventure, Hope, Lucky Star. And here's a fun rule: changing a boat's name is considered bad luck. Some sailors even have special ceremonies to ask the sea for permission to rename a boat. The ocean takes names very seriously. Did you know pirates also had skippers? Even pirate ships had skippers, but pirate skippers were different. They were often chosen by the crew, and if the crew didn't like how the skipper behaved, they could vote him out. Pirate ships were surprisingly democratic. Still scary, but democratic. So now you know. A skipper is called a skipper because the word comes from ancient sailors. It means the trusted leader of a ship. It connects us to hundreds of years of sea adventure. Next time you see a boat, remember the skipper isn't just steering, they're continuing a tradition older than maps, motors, and machines. Thank you for sailing with curious minds. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more curious questions about the world. And here is a question for you. If you had a boat, what would you name it? Stay curious. See you next time.